people are worried. Data is very expensive, yet data is not the resource we use for everything in life. What so far have you found out? What's the level of engagement with the operators, and how willing are they to come to the table to heed the concerns of customers?
So I set up a data pricing committee and give them 14 days to come to me with a roadmap for implementation.
What trends and now on YouTube. Let's also ban me subscribe button so dear my notification bell no share wadwin. Dear my Honorable Sam George, Minister for Communication. Na kopi mu ewo eye TV3. Omo dwumadi ya to ne din New Day na wone Ebrapin Roland Walker and etnase twetwe enkomo. Na enkomo twetwe ne Mono. Once time NDC ewo position na Honorable Sam George ekasafa LGBTQ+ bill no. Now we like what sinebo say. Omampenyi mahama pe ompeu was science bill no. Said ye be ya yenji gayism and lesbianism entumu ewo Ghana hasi. Na ehun komo bai woman na ehwe dwumadie no baako ebisa question said na okeka no ho o position even the vetting na o yes specific na wakasi sudua say LGBT building do ye Ghana ai omanpanyi pompo obesan ase de waka na no ato mobile na ase ehun nsem na ase wa slow down ana Honorable Sam George say hwe mensisa amadwin babia me gina apetampe yenje gayism lesbianism LGBT yenje ntumu na nje ntumu china 18 they also mu ye bi omaye at the parliament akase ye beji atu na baba ye mara 18 no se ogusu gina babi ugina afei ne ministry a owo no eye Ministry of Communication no and they wouldn't say data boy hating people are complaining na eno so conversation eba se wa shebo se obehwe na woni womu a eso ne omudi nkomo edi nkomo na se de be ya data buo so bete na Ghana for ehu ahenha omo na o ma 14 days Ghana for busen se how far eno so wo kire mu ewo dwumadi ni so yenko TV mbra Pro Technologies Prolens in etaiji ebasisia.
Kwejo Bonsu says he was fighting for LGBTQ. Now he's saying that the new government will have to restart. What's the position now? Is it the same?
I have signed the bill and laid it again before Parliament. I'm a man of my word. I said I would do it during my vetting. I have laid a private member's bill again before Parliament. We did that 4 weeks ago. So I'm waiting for the committee to invite and start its processes. And once again, I will push for the protection of the Ghanaian child's innocence. I have not changed my position. My position is still the same. LGBTQ is a gross aberration of the mind.
People are worried. Data is very expensive, yet data is not the resource we use for everything in life. What so far have you found out? What's the level of engagement with the operators, and how willing are they to come to the table to heed the concerns of customers?
So I set up a data pricing committee and give them 14 days to come to me with a roadmap for implementation. And in 13 days, they submitted their report. It was stakeholders, MNOs, the regulator. And so we had that engagement. They submitted their report to me. The report had short-term, medium-term, and long-term policy reforms that had to be done. I referred it to the regulator. The regulator has gone on to meet with the MNOs on it. I've met with the MNO CEOs myself on the framework that's been given. I mean, people expect that I will just set the prices for data. That's impossible. I can't just set the prices for data, but what I can do is use policy. And so, for example, with some of the things that I've done relative to spectrum allocations and tech neutrality, I've used those to negotiate with players in the industry and said, I need you to do a certain package, for example, for students. I want to have a specific bundle for students in the country that is cheaper per megabyte than the regular data bundle that you offer. Again, I've said to them that for those who are content creators, those who work in the gig economy, we also want to have specialized data bundles for them, which are cheaper. And so these are all engagements that are ongoing. The regulator is finalizing the technical modalities to have these various pricing models, and then we'll put them out. But I think that in the long term, or medium to long term, what we really need to do is two things. Have a lot more bandwidth capacity coming into the country. And for me, I've already commenced conversations with Equiano. The Equiano cable belongs to Google. The capacity on Equiano is massive.
Yeah, data service.
Yeah, it's a subsea cable, and it carries bandwidth. And because it's new technology, it carries a heavy level of bandwidth. Again, a failing of the previous administration. Google wanted to land in Ghana. Google came to Ghana. The NCA at the time gave the license to a company, but for whatever personal reasons of persons in the ministry, they weren't happy with who got the license, and there was all kinds of rancor. And so Google decided to leave Ghana and go and land that cable in Togo.
So the cable is
in Togo, and it's going to cost us about $50 million to reroute and do a patch landing here in Accra. I had conversations with some executives from Google on that level, and we're extending that conversation to see that when Google does the phase 2 landings of Equiano, Ghana will be part of it. That will bring in more bandwidth, and the more, you see, it's a demand and supply thing. The more bandwidth you have in the country, the more the prices can be driven down because there's cheaper bandwidth that's coming in. But then another thing we need to do, which is a conversation I'm having with my brother John Jinapo, and we'll be having with PURC, is to have a certain level of what we call a tariff for the telecom sector, called the telecom tariff, because electricity is one of the critical elements in the pricing of telecom services. You have mining tariffs, you have industrial tariffs, but nobody's looking at the telecom sector and the amount of power that is consumed, and why we should have a telecom tariff which should be lower. And once that is achieved, there will be a knock-on effect. Again, I'm hopeful that the finance minister will do a rationalization of the VAT. If that is done, and we look at some instances of double taxation in the price and cost build-up for data and voice calls in the country, you will definitely see a pass-through effect on the cost of data in the country. So these are medium-term, sometime end of the year, next year issues, but we are expecting to see a few things drop.
It's your number, Sam George. Actually, not doing what's your team and the team. Any of the Chimuna Banya Fina, maybe come a cheer cockatoo, new idea. Nana, Wawasuma Wati, any data rising any Eshaya with your Guaquema, or Musu, Elbow, any other. Your bumpire, so on my own baby. Eddie might say, yeah, quack digital and digital on the internet and as near the DNA, the data, and I think a browser the BBR in Tino. I say, do not cry a juma free fee, itino, with the help of the internet in your identity. Na bafom kakra, a magana for na abua, na ma abarabono, I easy, Eddie Amau Ghana for dear say honorable. Bedini boshe so na obehwe no watoto nyamana kana fo so hu aha omokakra pro technologies for numbers that screen is so medican share no na fa mesro se fa na we obi a security hu ehia wa me be kan mo asema kire be di omo adanse pa me be recommend omo e de ma we obi a open security gadget e de abo wa fie ni nyuma ho ban dia any protect and I make come for e de ma almost CCTV cameras. Almost tons are installed 3K and 4K. Any daho a quechi a last longer. Ain't no. And for when in chair baby, I saw them say CCTV cameras in the aba. But papa ne protect for and a 80 from ye be install bi emfa ema enye no nko a your video doorbell your car tracker your electric fence your automated gate anything efa security gadget bia no benya bi e will protect for akachi mesro fa number na oni ni nko na ye moa ammo waja pade ni wo fie ho eba emfa ema afei so Adia F so unique about protect for CCTV cameras. Let's say, yeah, the software never to phone so. It is a fee. Wait me monitor what you man fee. Our phone so. Who you mean wait me monitor fee or fee no. Our phone so. Baby, I would be out here bruchely. Now fee or Ghana. How wait me monitor or fee no. Our phone so. It will trendy for when inch baby for when it's pro technologies for na kwa CCTV cameras ni bi na ye install bi na fama afei so oti aburuchire usi dan wo Ghana ana afei na pese usi for protect about building and construction and also ye wo ho ye wanim difu akukudama onim edansie ho experience or what adansie ho experience and na say or building and construction ho experience na wo sisi dan edema akrofo eti sedan wo sie wi na kaka krabi aka bibi ka krabi na afa baba ye dan mu a frɛ ye baba finishing the amount afei so na pese we see from start to finish wo frɛ protect baba si ne kama ede amount ade bia so efa IT wo IT problem bia wo frɛ ya ye wo ho solution no ede amount ti aba security general construction IT solution for when it pro technologies in onye juma mesro your numbers that screen to fair only emonkomo Prolens and also media ni production ya cabo ade bi e fam media hu bia wa no ye wo ha edemamo ti ye be somo sompa afei so ade e fa videography ni photography so wo be ware wo be to be di be ye birthday parties photo shoot documentaries event coverage, book launching, script writing, content creation, about pre-production, production, post-production, drone service, offer Prolensa, about some sompa. Best so see numbers that screen is fair. I only ending common. I want a so. Foreign and local numbers. Normal call and our WhatsApp call and our chatting, WhatsApp chat, a beer, WhatsApp kind, now only in common. Send you make women in a time and I never transfer the pro trends of a sumo on pro television. So, Mr. Lotte, director, executive producer, and Mr. Eric Oakley, meeting and I've been a Freeman Asari, a Pesima Kahima. Yedasi, send and so, over Taichi, Ebe Shay, Ebe Sension and next episode. The crown.
Ana ware ana birthday ana say bibia ehun behia se obenya adanse de dia to obia no for the Prolens for asoe no eba no photograph ana documentaries drone flight service post production media content development Prolens eye dwumaku a omo atete nkrofo omo aben a ombe ni nyina kama edi ama o ne nei obi hu na won se ampa ososo 1 sika antu mu yenkrabata ne bi wo Ghana eni amanone eni Prolens eni nkomo na bibia wo pebia no omo ntumi enye emfama so yen 0209707062 ana 0537 711-715 and +140-1757-0300 and +140-1699-2254. Prolens and a multimedia company.